Got excellent speedy service and far from speedy meth. I just had to go and rummage through the bin to find his envelope on the off chance I mistook his for Mims, but no, it's Def's his. Oh well. In a few days I'll be back in Cambodia where the best fuel I've ever had costs $30 a gram and can be sourced from the tuk-tuk driver who'll give me a lift from the airport to my apartment. I even considered opening up my own vendor profile and selling off-topic shit from there. But the thought of spending the next 15 years in a Cambo jail cell with 12 other dudes fighting over delicacies such as rat shit and cockroaches quickly diminished any possibility of that ever happening. Post by, RR. Who are MMJM and Express whoever, are these American vendors that us in the UK can't see? Post by, RR. Also I did message WG but got no response so I am not going to order off a vendor who can't even reply to a message. Why is the meth game so frustrating? On the plus side my order of the company has been marked as shipped, but my professor order could turn up at any time, don't know when it was sent so another frustrating one. Post by, thatfish89. Please report back on quality. I hate to bitch and moan but I am at a loss as to why I seem to be the only guy to have ever received total garbage. Post by, Wadozo. Thatfish89, sorry to hear the troubles you're having with acquiring some meth at the moment. One thing I'll say is don't give up on Crystal Wife just yet. I've ordered off them over 10 times to ounce and every package arrived in 5 to 9 days without fail. They're friendly, ship within a matter of hours or at the latest within 24 hours, stealthily packaged and awesome meth. You only have to look at their feedback and read the buyer's comments to know how good they are. They have never asked me to a fee, even for my first order, so couldn't tell you their position on that matter. I must say that not having even one package turn up out of 3 from different vendors is a little strange. If those 20 days are working days then I'd be surprised if they showed up now, however, if it's been 3 weeks, they could still show. That's happened to me a few times now and trying to be patient when you're stinging for some meth is fucking hard. Are you a little concerned that 3 packages from 3 different vendors haven't turned up? I would have all these thoughts circling round in my head as to what really happened, or maybe that's cause I'm shit-faced and I'm having some trouble getting my brain to function in any capacity at the moment. Hope they show this week for ya and all is good. Then after a couple of pipes, put that mess behind ya. Post by, Costello 143. How can we detect if the min meth is cutted with MSM? Post by, thatfish89. Haha thanks man. I have ordered of CW before which is why I'm concerned. It's never taken this long to get to me before. I was marked in transit 10 days ago, although we had the fucking Queen's Day and 2 Sundays to boot so maybe tomorrow I'll get a surprise. As I've said I did receive of Professor Twat but it's of really poor quality. Burns within seconds, no rush and headaches. Communication with him was excellent and shipping time fast so maybe I'm the one in a million who has to be sacrificed on quality to appease the meth gods for all else. I doubt it would have been a malicious rip-off anyhow. Mim's stuff has yet to arrive too but seeing his greatest fan, Hosanna Sabbath, has given him a shitty review. Whatever does come through is likely to be less than satisfactory. Glad to hear you're rushing anyhow tongue face. Peace. Post by, Wadozo. I'm sure it should be Mim, marijuana is my muse, and Express is Starlight Express from US messaged him yesterday and asked when or if he will post internationally and he will be soon once he gets everything prepared so he can handle the influx of orders he'll receive by all reports. His meth is fantastic, has excellent, friendly customer service and ships daily without fail. I respect Say for not starting until he was ready and able to cope and continue to provide the level of service he already offers to his US customers. Some other vendors took on the job of offering products worldwide without much thought and as such, have fallen behind and upset many of their customers. That's breaking the #1 rule in business, which is to keep your customers happy. Post by, Prof T. Hey fish, I guess I'm hanging out on the boards while I wait forever to be reset. Okay, so not getting your PM's read can be a bit frustrating. But I know how it is and I'm trying to be reasonable. It was my mistake after all. Anyway, I want to make sure everyone is happy. I'm not sure what the issue with yours is. That batch was sent to many folks without complaint. But regardless, I apologize for any potency issues. I will double your next order for the trouble. Just give me a reminder when you order. I think I know who you are. I don't have tracking for you, but I do have a DCN that was scanned in on June 14th. Hopefully this has already left. He states PM me, on here, your username and he can provide for you. Post by, Yeah, of course I will. When did you get this order of Professor T? 'Cause I've seen on his feedback something about a resend because of a bad batch, don't know when it was but it does sound a while back. Have you told him about it? It's just I ordered of him because I am hearing that his product is absolute fire and got more coins at the ready to order. 2 grams next time. What did you think of CW's meth? I am not that keen on it, it's okay but I find I don't get that rush I get off meth from the States. What was the result? Okay, will do mate, thanks for the reply. Post by, Wadozo. Rushing, fuck me. That's an understatement. I swear I was just chased down my street by a Mars bar riding a push bike, yet I should be at home, preparing to get some sleep soon in readiness for work tomorrow. As if that's going to happen anytime soon. CW's shit is really good. Last time I was asleep in bed was Thursday night and haven't used that much of what I got, and to be honest, I'm not even close to having a nap. That fish 89 either Monday or Tuesday will be good to you, or at least that's what the little man inside my head says. I should say that besides the crystal, there was Charlie from Seoul, which is very nice, and some Molly involved which may have temporarily sent what's now left of my brain for a holiday without telling me. Sorry, I'm gibbering a lot, aren't I? Post by, And Professor T is not the only one with a password issue. Check the support threads, there is at least 2 other vendors with the same problem and it sound like support is stretched. Post by, Digitalding. I don't know if you are aware of this, but almost, if not all, the meth vendors here use the ephedrine PSE reduction methods. You do not get both isomers reducing ephedrine. Only the P2P dope is the only one that gives both isomers, and since methylamine is a bitch to get, I would think it's safe to say none of the batches on SR are P2P. Unless perhaps someone resells from Mexico, but I do not pretend to know about the logistics of meth. Would love to try P2P dope though, hint hint. I guess I should squeeze a review of Prof T's stuff. It's almost been 2 weeks since I received, but man, it was the best I have received on SR. It took longer than I had anticipated, but was worth the wait. Crystal clear shards. When they are that clear they are almost always fire. It was not a fiendish high and with little, if any, paranoia. I recommend PT's gear, but his turnaround times are not so great and customer service is more miss than hit, but his profile states that as well. Post by, work for it 69. Dub G is a solid vendor, you should try him out. He seems to be away at the moment though. Here's a note from his vendor page. Attention! Dub G is out of town for a family emergency. I am doing the best I can to fill orders, but I am very overwhelmed. He will be back next week, so please bear with me, thank you. Post by, Okay, fair enough, I will give him a go once he is back. Thanks for bringing that to my attention. Post by, Hassan Isabar. Just curious, when you say Min I assume that you mean Mim, right? Your observations are totally spot on, dude, and I don't need a fucking easy test to tell me otherwise. However, I may consider doing the cheaper bleach test tomorrow, for what it's worth. FUUUCCKKKK, why is it mission impossible to have a consistent, decent shard supply? I suppose it just comes with the territory. Post by, I think I am onto a winner with Professor T. He seems like an honest guy and very friendly, although his customer services could do with a polish up, but that's not the most important thing here. The product is far more important to me, and his recent reviews are out of this world. If all is good with my order, he will have a customer for life. I just respect his blunt honesty. It's rare in a meth vendor. Post by, work for at 69. Hey, was wondering if someone can give me the lowdown on wet meth and if it's any worse better than receiving a dry product. Unfortunately I am biased and have only had bad experiences when sold to in this form, but would like to hear the cold hard facts before I go back and try to get a refund from the vendor. Thanks, any info is appreciated. Post by, RR. I am not sure why people end up with a wet end product, think it's something to do with the way it's made, but in my experience a dry product is far better and far stronger. It should only melt when heat is present and a good meth will quickly recrystallize. I have had wet meth of CW and it wasn't as strong as VMM, TC, or DOF Boys, which are all stone dry products. I think someone with a bit more chemical know-how may be able to explain better, but I would always choose a dry product over a wet one. Post by, Digitalding. I have never seen wet meth, but I can only imagine that is solvent that hasn't dried out yet. There should never be such a thing as wet meth cookers. Dealers, in a hurry, be careful if you see this. Could be water or acetone. Acetone will cause problems and it dries out pretty fast. There should be no reason this is left behind. Lay it out on a plate and dry this. I would be angered if I had received some wet dope. Don't accept bunk dope. Request that the seller make that right. By the way, did you get wet shit on SR? Post by, RR. That's what I thought. CW's meth is always wet. I thought it was a way of increasing weight 'cause it don't smell of acetone. Post by, Plant Trees. I realized that I had made a mistake when posting. It has since been fixed to number 4 not number 5. That was a typo. Every order comes with DCN, and I am now shipping worldwide. Price has been reduced to $70 and $500 mg to get things flowing. Also, first 20 orders receive a free sample of one of my other products. Thanks. Trees. Post by, Wadozo. I don't agree that CW's meth is always wet. Simply not true. I have purchased meth from them on numerous occasions, including his latest batch, and have never received any wet gear. They are a friendly and professional vendor and wouldn't ruin a stellar, 100% feedback score and a reputation they have slowly built up from scratch, by wetting his meth to increase the weight of the product. Take a quick look at both his recent and past feedback to get an idea of how they treat their customers. If this were to be true, and it's not, the increase would be minimal, as I can't picture you requiring large quantities of a liquid to make 1 g of meth wet. They aren't sellers of large individual quantities like some other vendors, which, in that case, would require considerably more liquid and perhaps be beneficial, if you were that way inclined, which CW isn't. That's only my opinion, but I'm looking at 1 gram in front of me now, which is bone dry, and you wouldn't need much to wet it. If you have indeed received some meth from CW which, for whatever reason, was possibly a touch wet, message them and I'm sure they would sort something out for you, because there is no way they have sent you wet meth deliberately. From my experience, customer satisfaction is important to these guys. They will go out of their way to help you and they want you to be happy with everything. Post by, RR. Sorry if it sounded like I was having a dig at CW. It wasn't intended that way, but after reading it back it does seem to come over that way. But if you look back at their feedback like you told me to, you will see people do mention the fact it's a wet product. For a quick example, page 19 says this. Page 6. These are a couple I found just having a quick flick though. I was just giving an honest review of the product that I got. I have used the 4 times now and never got a bone dry product like what you're describing now. It has always come with moisture in the bag. And if you read though the feedback, you can see a lot of underweight comments. I am not saying they are a bad vendor, just not the best in my opinion. If they can explain what the reason behind the moisture is and why a lot of bags seem to leave underweight, then I am all ears, but I can't go back to them weeks later and say I have a problem with quality, 'cause I will look like a twat. But when people who clearly have better chemical knowledge than me say meth should never be wet, I have to ask the question, why is it wet? I will email them to ask the question and express my concern, and I will let you know what they say. The meth itself is not the worst I have ever had, just not as good as some I have had, but I was not trying to ruin their rep at all. But if you can't be honest, what is the point of the forums? Post by, Wodozo. Sorry if I sounded like a prick, didn't mean to. Maybe an early night would help. What I meant, and should have explained myself better, was you said their meth is always wet and you thought it was their way of increasing the weight, as it doesn't smell like acetone, but to cut a long story short, basically increase their profits. I've received 12 or 13 orders from them and can honestly say have never come across any wet meth. If I ever do, I have no doubt that CW would rectify the situation immediately and ensure I was now satisfied. They have always done the right thing with me, and as such, I just wanted people to know that if some of the meth is wet, it's definitely not a deliberate act on their behalf, and I'm sure if you sent them a message and outlined the problem, they would fix for you to your satisfaction straight away. These guys are very polite and a friendly meth vendor. Post by, RR. No, you was right when I wrote it. I was half asleep and didn't really explain myself very well. I have emailed them not to demand a replacement but just asking them to explain why my orders have always been wet, and I will report back here and let you know what they have to say about it. I've ordered 4 times now and my last order was by far the worst. If I knew it have got a dry product, it have ordered my lastest order with them, as I can say their customer service and speed of shipping has always been spot on, but the product is the most important thing to me. I'd rather wait 2 weeks for an order from the States and get a nice product than a 2-day delivery of a wet damp product. Like I said in my email to them, I am not trying to dirty their rep at all. I am just giving an honest account of the quality of their product that I got. I am not an unreasonable person and would like to think of myself as an honest guy. I just thought their product was always that way and no one else seemed to be complaining, so I didn't either. It was only when Digitalding said meth should never be wet I started to question it, cause he sounds like he knows his stuff, more than me anyway. At work for at 69, who is the vendor in question? Post by, thatfish89. CW came through today. All's well. Post by, RR. Okay, that was mega fast reply off CW. They got back to me within an hour at 7 AM UK time, so credit where credit is due. They were very sorry for the problems I have encountered, and have offered me 0.5G replacement. I was not expecting that, so I have to say CW has the best customer support I've come across in a long time. I will report back on quality and if it reaches me dry or not. Very impressed, and I will go back to using them if all are well. Top marks. CW, I can see you really do care about your customers. Post by, Wodozo. Like I was saying before, these guys are a really professional outfit who always ensure their customers are happy. They're very well maybe Crystal out there, which is better than CW's. Hope I can't find it, cause CW's meth is strong enough for me and I can barely function as it is. But after reading about some other meth vendors and all the bullshit associated with it, such as packages not turning up or even being shipped and having buyers finalize early only to learn their package fails to arrive. However, because the buyer has finalized early, they have no recourse through escrow and can only vent here in the forums. Unfortunately, I've noticed some pissed off and frustrated buyers on these forums who seem to have similar complaints and issues from certain vendors. I personally would much prefer the CW route, as they answer messages quickly and politely, ship same day always, 5 to 9 day international delivery, which has a 100% success rate for me personally, and best of all, never any problems, issues or hassles with anything. I really like their meth, and for me it's quite strong, up for 3 days now on a bender while on holidays and have thoroughly enjoyed it. 8. Post by, Ridiculous. Same stuff I got. It's shitty to see more people being burned by MIM. I got 3.5 grams of pure cut and then suddenly 7G that he supposedly shipped got busted at his customs going out of the country. Since when does that even happen? Customs isn't screening stuff going out of the country. He did give me a stunning 25% refund on that 7G. Though. All in all, a major loss to me, biggest yet on SR. What a joke of a vendor. If anyone is still ordering from him hoping you'll get something that's decent, you're running a huge risk. There's vendors on here that are way better options. Don't risk it. We got fucked, so can you. Post by, Costello 143. Exactly the same thing here. I'm not specialist meth, but this batch is not the same I received from other seller. Not the same specificities, smell, color of drop, etc. This meth give a brown drop with special crystallization. This is not meth. It's cutted product looking like meth. I have FE because I always FE for trusted member. I hope it's not a fault this time and Min can resend or refund me and the other people. We have crap product in our pipe. Mim, I'm open for propositions. You have to resolve this bad situation. We are waiting for proposition on this forum. Post by, RR. Yeah, I totally agree with you. They are very professional and I am more than sure it was not done intentionally. They have been more than fair and I was not asking for anything, just an explanation, so that was a nice gesture on their part. Well done CW. Think you might have just won my custom back. Now I got 1/2G coming from the professor, 1/2G from the company and now 1/2G of CW. Man, am I going to be on a vendor soon lol. Very happy indeed lol. Post by, Wadozo. Awesome RR, you're up for a big one when that all hits town. You watch how quick it arrives, it will be there before you know it. Just on a general note, I'm still having trouble coming to grips with the amount of buyers who continue to finalize early for vendors, some trusted vendors and some just starting out, only to hear time and time again how they've been screwed and basically lost most if not all of their hard-earned bitcoins, or they may have been promised by the vendor that their order has been reshipped only to find out 2 weeks later that there won't be any gear coming. In my opinion, that is so fucked up that I'd be at a loss to find words which would adequately describe my level of anger and frustration at what this person could have done, not just to me, but to many others who handed over money in good faith and received nothing in return except for an occasional empty promise. Probably most worrying is whilst reading through these various threads, some buyers who were ripped off originally, lost their hard-earned money and haven't heard a thing for 3 months are actually trying to convince themselves and perhaps some others who were also dudded, that he may have changed his ways, turned over a new leaf. Should be given a chance to redeem himself and is turning out to be an honest and reliable vendor after all, cause he offered to reship packages now to some buyers, not all, who have been waiting 3+ months to hear anything. For fuck's sake guys, how you would even entertain the thought of conversing with this person about anything after what happened, let alone allowing him back into the marketplace to carry on doing business as if nothing had previously happened. What is it that I'm missing here? Oh, I'm at a loss to explain why these actions are even tolerated by our community. Post by, RR. Yeah, I know, I can't wait lol. D. And I guess you're talking about Mr. Milkman here? Yeah, I totally agree and have had a hard lesson or two myself as a buyer, and I stick to the rule no finalizing early on meth with no exceptions. If there is no escrow then I tell them to cancel my order. I feel sorry for the people who paid full balls, cause that's no joke and it's a big lump of change they lost. But to be fair, now I have 75 transactions under my buying belt and have spent 800 BTC and 0% refunds. No one asks a fee of me. As a vendor I only ask a fee for users with under 10 transactions, and my feedback is normally enough to reassure them that they will get their items. Post by, Hassan Isabar. +1 astute observation dude. It seems like a lot of meth users are suckers for punishment. In fact, such masochism is indicative of a person who is ruled by their addiction, or is in other words, a junkie. Here are some basic tips on how not to get burned buying drugs on SR. 1. Never FE, never FE, never FE. Did you get all that? And if you do FE, you do so at your own risk. 2. Do not make large purchases. You are safer and less likely to get burned if you spread your purchases amongst several vendors. 3. Do your homework on vendors. Check customer feedback and the forum on vendors. Recent and consistent feedback is preferable to older or inconsistent feedback. Avoid vendors that display erratic, unpredictable behavior or who blame their customers for their mistakes. Consider the vendor's entire history. 4. Do not make the mistake of thinking that you have found the best undiscovered vendor in the world based on several purchases. Some of the best vendors often turn out to be the best scammers. Vendors are here primarily to make money, not friends. You want friends, stick to Facebook. And last but not least and perhaps most importantly. 5. Do not allow your addiction, to overrule your common sense or your bank balance. Of course, this list is not conclusive. If anyone has anything else to add, by all means do so. Peace. Post by, you will never know. Just to update you guys on my express order that was shipped on Tuesday through Big Skimes, it's still not here, and he has not logged in over a day. I'm to the point of wanting my money back at the very least for the shipping now, and I really don't want the damn product seeing that I've replaced it twice over now. Lies after lies after lies. I guess this is what you should expect from these sorry-ass vendors with the exception of a special someone. I asked for the tracking number, and that message has gone unread. This guy is a waste of your time. Post by, whatever works. This should be number one really, emu. Thankfully, I've never lost money, just sanity hair time. I do not forgive easily and never forget, and the only vendor who I will never deal with again is Professor Twack. Even if he was the last dealer on earth, he would not earn my money. And I'd like to say it again. I really appreciate everyone taking the time to post about their experiences with the various dealers, why I started calling them vendors, IDK. We're all better off for it. The dealers included. Post by, work for it 69. This was from WG. I bought it over 1 month ago from him but didn't open it until yesterday, and to be honest I was quite upset. Unfortunately this was due to past experiences though, and I have nothing scientific to back it. Does anyone else have any data to back Digitalding's claim up with before I go ahead and start working on getting a refund? I tried about 20 milligrams and gave it a go but got absolutely nothing from it. Before anyone starts in about it being a low dose, I should tell you that I still only need 250 milligrams to get me high and going strong for a weekend. I usually take 20 milligrams hits every 3 to 4 hours. Fuck. I miss Heisenberg already, even after all the shit I went through with him. He is the only vendor that cleans his product, tests it out, and only then does he ship it out for the prices these other meth dealers are charging. That is the least they should be doing. Post by, Stick K-Finger. McGicutty Jones, however you spell it. Unreal product and communication and speed of delivery. This guy doesn't fuck around. I am surprised I didn't read a comment on him in the last few posts. Get on that. Post by, work for it 69. Shit, and I was just gonna place an order with this vendor. The vendor list for the USA is getting pretty thin and I'm kinda at a loss as to who to order from going forward now that H is leaving for good. Would be nice if Vroom Vroom popped back up. Gonna hold off on using WG until I get the wet meth incident sorted out. This thread is full of both positive and negative reviews for most of the remaining vendors, nothing out of the country for me. So I am at a loss as to who to order from. To add insult to injury, the prices have gone a little too north for my taste. What to do? What to do? What to do? Post by, you will never know. Update on Big Skimes. I just received a package from an individual from ISPS that was in a plain Jane car with no blinking lights or anything. I wasn't in at the moment, so it was left on my desk. Apparently, he chose the wrong envelope or paid for something the wrong way because it says $8.05 in postage was due. I'm not sure if whoever left it on my desk paid it for me or not. There's also all kinds of writing on it and the packaging looks like it's been through the wrong place or sitting somewhere it wasn't supposed to be for a long time. I will update on contents later. I'm afraid to even open it right now. I feel bubble wrap lol. Maybe he unintentionally did this, but when you're shipping express, you gotta make sure you choose the appropriate postage for the appropriate packaging. That's that. At least something came. Nonetheless, I'm quite paranoid given the situation, the way it was dropped off, never happens that way, and the extensive attention it must have gotten. He did not make clear who was the sender and who was the recipient, if that gives you any insight. Much improvement is needed sooner than later. Post by, work for it 69. Shit, you posted this at the same time I was asking for someone to recommend a vendor. Gotta be honest, I never heard of this guy, but his review thread is excellent. Gonna give him a try and will report back about my experiences with him. I can tell you right off though that he is gonna get some points off for his prices. Post by, Stick K Finger. I hear you bro, but take a shot, maybe even literally two. Dude is no joke. Post by, Work for It 69. Fucking hell, a mere hour after placing my order with him he's marked it in transit. So far so good. The most important thing will be quality though. I would rather wait a while than get something subpar. Post by, Stick K Finger. It's good bro. Seriously. Let me know what you think. Post by, RR. I've heard some great things about his meth, but he only has 8 balls listed for UK. Post by, Torn. If you feel like you need to justify the higher price, order a gram, cut it yourself with something and then pretend you just paid for 1.5 gram instead. Post by, Stick K Finger. Maybe you can find someone you can split it with and he can mail it to 2 separate locations. Post by, Hassan Bar. Anyone interested in buying this mystery meth, 1.5 grams, I bought from Maria Winales Muse is more than welcome to PM me anytime. Who knows, maybe you'll even catch a buzz from inhaling this mystery meth. Now you two can look hardcore without being hardcore. Impress all the ladies. Smoke mystery meth without risk of ever getting meth mouth. No reasonable offer refused. Will trade for real meth. Or a pack of Camel cigarettes. Caution, his marijuana may not even contain THC. Still awaiting results of EZ kit. Post by, Magilla Cutter Johns. Yes, I ship quickly. Correct. I am no joke. 8. A true professional. X I only provide high quality products. D you will enjoy it. Everyone else has. I expect no different. Post by, Tabanoid. Dark Espresso Review. Ordered on Wednesday, received today. Good stealth shipping, good weight, good quality. Haven't IV'd yet but look forward to it. Post by, Work for It 69. Nah, it's all good, I already did my calculations before ordering with him to justify paying almost 100 for a 0.5 gram this time around. If it's as good as his customer service I'll order an 8 ball and then a gram is only 130. Or better yet, maybe I will try to do a barter with him in the future and try to offload some of these assorted name brand painkillers I have and he can turn around and sell them retail on SS or some listings on his page. I have no desire to be a vendor, I imagine it must suck a great deal just by reading some of the posts made on this thread alone. Lol. Anyway, getting ahead of myself, looking forward to testing out the product and will report back. Hopefully his source is solid and reliable so I don't have to worry about those bad batches all these other vendors warn me about. Post by, Costello 143. The problem with the IS test is no. It's a qualitative test that says if yes or no there is a specific product, in no case meth. IS test is not viable because it is not a quantitative, percent of product. The IS test can react positive with a dose of the mystery meth, who contain 10% meth and 90% of the substance who don't react to the IS test. What is scientific is how the meth turn quickly into a brown drop. The strange smell when open in the bag detected by my nose, that is scientific. Does Mims smoke meth? Or he sell only? Post by, Nomad Bloodbath. Thumbs up. Nomad Bloodbath. Post by, Work for It 69. You're not the first meth vendor to swoop on in here and give us all hope. I really truly hope you can live up and maintain the image you have of yourself and don't slide into the inevitable SRS meth spiral that at some point or another always gets our best dealers. I am an optimist at heart though and am rooting for you to succeed. Good luck and above all else treat us with respect and as adults with the truth, even if it makes you look bad. Good luck man, hoping you can be our new go-to dealer. Just one word of advice, and if you follow this simple rule your chances of success will increase greatly. I believe this above anything else is what gets our meth dealers sooner or later and that is they get high on their own supply. Post by, Hassan Bar. He doesn't sell what he doesn't smoke. Yeah, he smokes all the meth and tries to pass his savings on to you. In addition to the AZ test results on the bad batch, I would like to see a urine test to determine meth use. Research by Fuck You Laboratories show that 99% of scams involving meth involved a dealer using meth. I am starting to wonder if this whole bad batch stuff is just an ideal excuse for dealers to maximize profits. By the way, I still have 1.5 grams of that mystery meth he sent me last week. I am only asking to BTCs or trade for a few cigarettes, or a really sexy photo. Act now before it's all gone. This is a priceless addition to your collection of classic Silk Road scams. Post by Synergicity. Another thumbs up for Dark Espresso. Very nice. I don't need to be treated like a dog when I order, thanks. Very quick. Ordered Friday, arrived today, packaged very nice and stealth, and I'll be damned if it's not great stuff. I am still awake, didn't smoke much about 15 hours ago, and it left almost no residue in my bowl. Did I mention he was so prompt? I'll definitely be back. But don't you all go there, cause I think y'all do something to these vendors to make them get overwhelmed. Just let him take care of me, MMMKAY? Post by Digitalding. Wow, look at you, Synergicity. Already becoming the selfish tweak fiend tongue face. I am placing order then, D. Post by Digitalding. What claims are you referring to? Without more data from PPL asking, there's no way to judge what's in the product. Send me a gram and I'll tell you what's up with it, tongue face. If you were referring to wet dope, then go to the meth making forums and ask them if any of their products are wet. They will either laugh or tell you hell number cause they take pride in their shit. For Dub G's prices it's just not worth it to me. I couldn't get the high I wanted from his gram. No, from Vroom's professor is slow but fire. There are a few upcoming vendors that are proving their metal. Starlight Express was supposed to get me hooked up but he had issues, so I cancelled my order. If you're here, Starlight, you still want to do that? Post by Pinkman. That's good. We need some downward price pressure on the meth market, and new vendors like Dark Espresso seem to offer it. What the fuck is up with the recent price hikes by Professor Twack and Heisenberg? They've decided to enter Dub GMCG premium price territory without the accompanying fulfillment rep. I was going to write a review on mid-tier vendors, but they just made their prices much less mid-tier. Either demand or brand loyalty is such that, despite their spotty service records and long wait times reported in feedback, their recent through-the-roof price hikes really don't affect them much, or, as I would hope those contemplating their prices would, for about the same price, choose to buy from MCG for the certainty that their order would be fulfilled ASAP. Sounds like Heisenberg's announced his last hurrah, so his price gouging is part of his plan to milk it while he can. Nevertheless, you would think the recent spate of affordable vendors like, say, Dark Espresso, TC, and Big Skimes with equal or better service records would at least apply some pressure to keep prices down. Post by Harpua25. Starlight Express is starting to worry me a bit. Anybody heard from him since his update about the psycho chick? Post by Pinkman. Well, he does have a day job that seems to keep him more than busy. On top of that, some psycho cunt running around with his wallet, car, and product sounds like it would keep him preoccupied until his next re-up. Post by Stick K-Finger. Just letting you know, the Magilla Cutter John's price is a little premium, but that's because the product was a lot of premium shit gives you brain boners. Post by Thatfish89. Post by Work for It 69. Sorry, but I cut down the post a bit because it's super hard to get through these threads when some posts are half a page long. Here is what Ara wrote me when I asked about people's experiences with wet meth. It was only when Digitalding said meth should never be wet I started to question it, cause he sounds like he knows his stuff, more than me anyway. Good to hear your thoughts on this, and it backs my experiences with wet meth in the past. Product was always super weak compared to anything else I got. I dried out and tested some of the Dub G batch, but it was weak as well. I have no doubt that Dub G will set this straight, though before ordering from him I asked him quite a few things and he said all the right things. One being that occasionally a bad batch goes out and he does refunds. He only had to do a handful since he's been selling. I also want to point out that he has a lot of great product reviews from others and he handled my order very professionally. I don't want to turn others off on him because of what happened to me on this one batch. Do your research like I did and you'll find he has a lot of satisfied customers. Okay, off to get in touch with him. Thanks for your input. Post by Synergicity. Selfish tweak fiend, hee hee. It have just kept my mouth shut if I really didn't mean for y'all to order up. Hope your transaction is as smooth as mine was. Post by Keteljigdaxivin. Hey fellas, I'd like to give a big ups to Ordway, no doubt the best Aussie ice dealer. His shipping and handling times are nothing short of amazing. Always next business day if order is placed in time for the express post pickup. Without going into a lot of detail, my last order from Ordway came with what at first I thought was heavily cut product. Later Ordway identified that one of his batches was heavily cut with 2ME and I was the unlucky one to receive it. He immediately refunded the full BC amount and took his listings offline and got doing QA on all his product. Once he put his listings back up we had a quick chat and he was very happy to send me almost half of my original order express post for free. Now this stuff is what I was looking for in the previous order. Wow, really strong and clean smoke from these shards, thanks Ordway. Post by Costello 143. The meth of MIM have no effect, nothing, no rush, can sleep. Total shit. Hope he can resend other product or refund. Post by Hassan Bar. Another meth vendor with plenty of meth drama. Nothing new here. I just hope he holds it together long enough to honor his orders. Remember folks, never FE. Post by Work for It 69. Can someone please shed some light on this weird ass occurrence that I recently heard about? I've never had it happen to me nor have I ever heard of it happening to someone else. Have any of you ever purchased a bag of shards ice and stored it in a cool dry place for a month or so and have it turn into liquid on you? Please, if anyone has had this happen to them or if someone can make an argument as to why this is the dumbest things they've ever heard, it would be greatly appreciated. Apparently I was told by my vendor that it was my fault the meth he sold me turned back into liquid. Like I told him, though, I had 4 other samples of meth from other vendors in the same place and for the same amount of time and had no problems with them. Thanks for any help. Post by Hassan Bar. That is truly fucked up, dude. The last time I had problems like that was during my very brief experimentation with that nonsense known as European speed paste. To snort it you had to heat it in the oven for 10 to 15 minutes and that enabled you to chop it up into fine lines. I made the mistake of leaving a few lines out too long and they fucking liquefied. Then I put it in the freezer, etc. etc. It barely gave you enough of a buzz to do this fucked up science. The only meth I've ever known is hard like rice and clear like ice. Good luck with that shit, bro. Post by Wodozo. Just wanted to get any thoughts from buyers about the meth they purchased off the vendor, Big Skimes? I'm not sure what to make of it, to be honest. Looks okay, which means nothing really, but after smoking some, I don't feel as though I'm as high as I should be. I have 3 different samples from 3 different vendors at the moment, with each having some different qualities. Can someone please advise me on what qualities good meth has and what to look out for? I realize that testing it with a test kit will give you a definitive answer, however I guess what I'm saying is that is there any things such as does crystal have a smell or is it odorless, burning properties or things of that nature which may help in defining what is good or bad stuff? Post by Wodozo. You will never know. The package you've described sounds similar to the one I received from BSM, only mine was left in the mailbox. There was a note on it, written in the US as the date was written in the format month day, stating return package to customer as it requires a customs form and extra postage as it was international mail plus some other scribble I couldn't make sense of. Don't for the life know why they use an A4 size envelope to send a little meth. Easily the worst packaging I've come across. What do you think of his meth? Post by Wodozo. Like I've said here many times before, Crystal Wife is a professional and reliable vendor who literally want to please their customers and retain their 100% feedback. they buck the trends of your typical meth seller, and have been nothing but faultless in all my transactions with them. Post-buy, you will never know. BSM's gear isn't the worst I've had by far lol, but good lord the effin' packaging. I was scared to open it lol. Post-buy, Digitalding. $10 says that this is selenium, this is that Easter bunny dope that has no amphetamine at all. You remember that cras where people were sticking gun glue and activated charcoal and other shit in an aquarium? With strings hanging down after a month huge crystals will grow. Well, those selenium crystals look like dope, and I have heard that after so long they will lose their stability and I guess turn to liquid. Post-buy, Wadozo. Wow. As they say, you learn something new every day. 8. Post-buy, Digitalding. For real? As much as you praise Crystal Wife, shouldn't you know what good stuff is now? Post-buy, Wadozo. Yeah, for real. Nice to see you've taken note of me giving some praise to a great vendor. If a vendor does the right thing by a buyer, shouldn't they acknowledge that here on the forum by writing an honest review of their experience? No need to be so cynical when I, as just a buyer and user of meth, was only inviting others to enlighten me on the subject if they had a more intimate knowledge of meth than I do. Oh. I didn't realize that I had to know what good stuff is because I happen to praise one of the better vendors on SR. I judge any meth I get by just fucking smoking some and seeing how I feel. Post-buy, Wadozo. Thanks ABC 123 Nuthin. Post-buy, Work for it 69. Monroy Lane. Seems like you had all of the bad experiences I had with shitty-ass speed paste in Germany also. In addition, I was also sold meth paste from a dealer there and had a similar shitty-ass experience with it as well. From my understanding, heating speed paste won't do much harm to the product and you won't lose much in the process. Potency still sucks though, but from what I have been reading, doing the same with liquefied meth will kill the potency and you will lose a lot more in the process. So basically this confirms why this meth I was sold did shit all after I chopped the fuck out of it and let it sit and dry. Thanks for your reply. Post-buy, Work for it 69. Fuck man, that is a new one on me. Thanks for the history lesson. I tried to give Dub G the benefit of the doubt, but his first response to me was basically that's how it goes and that it had also happened to another of this customers. No apology or information on how and why this chemical reaction took place. I replied and asked nicely that I would like to believe him, but he would need to provide me with a scientific explanation. The fact that it happened to another of his customers means shit all. In addition, I asked him to explain why only his sample did this and not any of the others I had from other vendors. He gave me a full refund and asked that I don't order from him again. Post-buy, Digitalding. I don't think that's such a bad thing. I regret I paid his prices for subpar dope. I did a whole gram of his 1 3 or 4 hour and was asleep by 14 hours later. I didn't give him a bar rating, though I should have. I just chose to go elsewhere and I am glad I did. I like Prof T. Starlight seems to be the shit now. Dark Espresso is on the rise. Post-buy, Digitalding. Who you waitin' on ABC? 12 diff vendors? Post-buy, Gooey Dog. Lol ABC 123. I used to read your posts when you had this shit coming, or this shit just arrived. Oh, getting another 7G tomorrow. I was thinking fucking gone son. Madman right there. But Dub G's shit lasts me all night off just 1 or 2 pipes if I put in a reasonable amount, and as a meth noob I thought 2 grams would do me 1 or 2 night session. Ha ha ha, how wrong I was. Post-buy, Fried Rice. If you're worried about your meth absorbing moisture, put your baggie in a larger baggie with one of those little Silcia packets, you know those crystals that are in a little paper packet and they are in the box when you buy new shoes or some food, things like flatbread or sushi seaweed. These little packets absorb the moisture so your product doesn't. Post-buy, Digitalding. For one, you do not have to quote everything to get your point across. You can make edits so the post don't take up an entire page and every third post you make is a biography on CW. She's a good vendor, great for you, I am happy for you. I brag on Prof T, but I try not to take up whole page. PLS don't be afraid to summarize, or you can just say, "Hey digital face," without quoting my whole paragraph. Just trying to make things easier on the eyes here. Post by Tabanoid. I thought I posted this last night but it didn't make it, I guess. Dark Espresso, his gear has some legs, rolled a few hits at 3 p.m, topped off at 8 p.m. with about 3 pulls from pipe. No sleep for this monkey that night. Next day was worn out but not so much sleepy. Some shit I've bought on SLets. Me sleep about an hour or so after the last bowl, you tell me. Post by Synergicity. I completely agree, Tabanoid, no sleep for me at all the night before last, went to bed about 2:30 this morning and my ass is dragging today. Puff puff. Wake me up, friend. Thanks again, Dark Espresso. Post by Hassan Bar. Just started a new thread on behalf of new meth vendor. Dark Espresso. Who couldn't have come at a better time when many of the current vendors have or are about to go. A wall due to a predictable meth drama or whose outrageous prices are in no way justified. Any vendor that delivers fast, stealthy packages of stellar jib is always a welcome presence here on Silk Road. Please do your fellow drug fiends a favor, help starving kids in Africa, and provide detailed reviews on this new promising vendor. Thank you, Jesus. Just say no to Silk Road scammers. Don't tweak on my dime, jerk off. Mim. Post by ThatFish89. Okay. Out on a limb here, guys. A mate of mine from NZ bought some of CW's shit off me with the intent on taking it back with him, ounce. He plans of stuffing it up his cornhole, a tried and true method of transportation. Question is, will it melt in his ass, and if so, will it recrystallize upon retrieval? I'm sorry to lower the topical standards on the meth thread, but he has but 12 hours until his flight. Post by Hassan Bar. Fuck man, and I just finished a bowl of porridge with brown sugar for breakfast. RALPHHHHHHH. Nasty. Very nasty. Not a nutritious way to start the day. Post by Mocha. Anyone heard from Heisenberg lately? I'm hoping he's alright. He just went quiet 6 to 7 days ago and I haven't heard any activity from him since. Just wondering, since his page says, June 15, 12. Shipping Saturday through Monday. But multiple packages are not marked as in shipment yet. Anyway, just thought I would make a friendly inquiry. P.S. Sorry, I'm new here, to the forums, but not to ESA. Been on ESA for a long time and I always get awesome service from Heisenberg, so this latest behavior has me a little worried. Post by Harpua25. A PM I sent to him 3 days ago is still unread, which is not like him at all. He sometimes takes a day or so to get back to me, but it's usually quicker than that. Also hoping everything's alright. Post by Mocha. Well, thanks for the reply, Harpua25. Glad I'm not the only one concerned. Hope he turns up soon. Post by ThatFish89. Lol, thanks for the reply, man. But seriously, does anyone know? I had a friend a while back stack some really potent shit down his sock only 15 minutes from the dealer to his house and it had melted. Will this happen to my mate whilst he transporting? Post by Hassan Bar. Just make sure he ain't flying into the USA. Under the Patriot Act and under the watchful eye of the Department of Homeland Security, and the NSA, etc. Anyone who looks remotely like a drug user, yawns, appears restless, nervous, nods, has track marks, or wears tie-dye will be ruthlessly and publicly fisted by a man-hating lesbian or a bi-curious, but repressed, GD-fearing heterosexual male. With big knuckles. Ouch. The anus was not designed for such abuse. Wearing adult diapers is a def turn-off for any female you wanna get busy with. The last time I had a babe over I had to shove my intestines up my poop chute. She beat the Olympic record for fastest female sprint. I was stuck trying to bust a nut surfing Bikuk Red videos all night with stim dick. Good luck man, fuck the Taliban and God bless Google. P.S. My sincere apologies to SR females for such crude details. I was married once. I know how they think. Post by, thatfish89. Rutflmore. Okay, congrats on the hilarious, I actually mean it, that made me giggle, post. But, I'm simply asking. Do you think that meth, triple wrapped, upper rectum, will melt? And will it recrystallize? Post by, Hassan Isabar. Yeah. Exactly, but we are still awaiting those results and he doesn't seem too anxious to refund or reship. He clearly is not holding up his end of the bargain, which is to provide real product. Even a little mentally delayed child in a dark room could tell that the shit he sent was totally bogus. Mim is clearly stubborn as a mule and is probably tweaking on my dime. After years of drug abuse I ain't as pretty as I used to be. Do you know how many dicks I'd have to suck just to earn $220? Bucks? 5 fucking years 24/7 behind the local pawn shop. The thing is, I don't even like sucking dick. It wouldn't be so bad if I was a homo. But I am not. Now all the kids at school call me a cum guzzler. Do you know how that makes me feel, dude? Hello? Are you even there? Oh fuck it. Anyways, thanks for nothing. Payback's a bitch. P.S. Do you have any weed that will relieve the pain from getting ripped off on a shitty meth order? Yeah, thanks. I love you too, Hassan Kso. Post by, Harpua25. Has anybody else noticed that the SR meth scene has become an unmitigated cesspool of incompetence, or is it just me? Post by, X8MX. Ain't just you brother, nothing is consistent or hassle-free for this product. Hope Say lands back on his feet, sigh. Post by, Work for It 69. Yeah, seems like something may be up. Got a message from his 7 days ago telling me exactly when his new shipment was coming and a promise that I was literally on top of the list and that I would be the first to get my package. Got another MSG from him the next day that his shipment arrived as planned, but then radio silence. I average about 1 message with him a day, but he has not read anything since receiving. Strange thing is that he has been on SR regularly all week according to SR. So if H has kept his promise, then nobody else got anything from him yet, because I surely haven't. I do know that his health problems are serious though, and hopefully he is okay. Post by, Mocha. Thanks for your reply as well. I suppose we will all be keeping an ear out for him then. Best wishes. Post by, Spotnik. I think the company sounds pretty promising. Reasonable prices, perfect score, and people are saying it's pretty good quality. Plus on their page it says anything else is uncivilized. I'm guessing this means they're either really careful with distillation, or don't cut it a whole lot, or at least wash it well or something. I'm just waiting for my Bit wallet to finish syncing so I can have my Bit dollars, then I think I'll gonna order up a Pages 5 from the company. This'll be my first ordering goodness online experience, and I'm pretty effing excited. I still can't believe this is real. Post by, Work for It 69. Just a quick update on my transaction with McGillicuddy Johns. Order was placed a couple of days ago using his free priority shipping method and was processed in record time. Went out today to check the mail and was extremely surprised to find a package had arrived already. I'll be the first to say that I don't get the fascination with shards that others share, but one look at these and it made much more sense to me. Weight was almost double what I ordered. My only complaint was that I never got a tracking number. Unfortunately, since I am now on the end of an unintentional 5-day run, I won't be able to provide a review of the product until I get some well-needed rest. Until then. Post by, Digitalding. Don't fall for gimmicks. 90% of what is said on these profiles are BS anyway. I am not saying the company is bad, but they got reviews. Don't look to the vendor profile for assurance. That's what these threads are for. Good luck with your order and let us know how it goes. Post by, Nomad Bloodbath. Heads up, the gear is high quality. This is to remind everyone gentle on the heat and you will get that sweet bubblegum flavor. Nomad. Post by